America remains bitterly divided over how to handle the sudden influx of illegal immigrants coming over the Mexican border. Sky News Washington correspondent Annelise Nielsen travelled to the border town of McAllen, Texas, to see how the crisis is impacting locals and what they think needs to happen next.
Donald Trump's border wall seems like a formidable backdrop for a neighbourhood watering hole. But for the McAllen locals that frequent Cabrera's, it fades into the background. When the band swings into action, it's all about the two-step. This bar first opened here 64 years ago and has seen plenty of change in that time.
When my dad was here, he didn't allow women in here.
What?
There was no women. My dad was old-fashioned.
What hasn't changed much is the story of immigrants coming here to make it in America.
My dad came here to this little town with nothing. With nothing. He didn't have a place to stay. He saw somebody building a house. He asked for a job, and he was staying in a little shack, and then he started working.
Lupe is descended from Mexican immigrants. Like his dad, he picked fruit as he grew up. He agrees many farms in the area couldn't survive without the labour of illegal immigrants.
The people that are coming over are very hard workers. They're hard workers. Help them work legally here, where they don't have to pay $1,500 to the cartel to cross.
Cartels, which have an almost exclusive hold over who can cross over the border, are what prompted Lupe to vote for Donald Trump.
The way Donald Trump was doing it, they were crossing, they would get a court date and put back in Mexico. Even without the wall, there was nothing here. Calm and quiet. Now, circus.
We have to make sure that we do things properly and legally and follow the process.
Norma Ramirez is chairwoman of the Hidalgo County Democrats. Along the southern border, most counties voted for Joe Biden. But the immigration crisis is uniting locals across party lines.
I think that our current administration is doing the best that they can. I do think that they need to spend a little bit more time in this area.
For the last 2 months, people crossing the border each day have numbered into the thousands. For those granted a court date for asylum, they're taken here to downtown McAllen to be tested for COVID. Once they've cleared that test, they're often left at the local bus shelter to make their own way.
I arrived here with a lot of expectations. I have 2 boys. One is 11 and the other is 7. I came from Peru, a country which is not well economically. I got here with the hopes of reuniting my husband. First I went through immigration and the reception by some was not what I expected. I always watch channels like Telemundo, CNN through internet, and the news is very sad, especially about the kids who we see sleeping in the cold with no cover.
It's a local Catholic charity that's set up shop nearby to help them on their way, providing everything from toiletries, haircuts to new shoes.
I've seen so many cases where mothers break down in tears just by the fact that they walk through these doors, and for the very first time in so long, they come into a space they feel safe, they feel welcome, they feel cared for.
This centre was opened in 2014, the first time the southern border was overwhelmed by people crossing. While it dropped off, those running the facility say that now it's very reminiscent of that time again.
We were seeing almost 800, 900, almost 1,000 people released every single day this year. And now, this couple of weeks back, the numbers started to go down again. Not because families are not coming, it's mostly because now there's a different procedure that the Border Patrol does. Instead of keeping them in the United States, they're sending them back to Mexico. The families that we actually see are the lucky ones, the ones that actually were able to remain in the United States and not sent back.
On one point, every person we meet in McAllen seems to agree that their leaders need to come down to see what's happening for themselves.
Most definitely, yes, yes. I invited President Trump to come. I think that any leader that has the decision making and to make policies that affect directly the lives of people need to see the people that it's going to affect directly, you know, the faces. And so when they make a decision, they know how it's going to affect their life.
Annelise Nielsen, Sky News in McAllen, Texas.